everyone wants to obtain the goal. Everyone is trying to get somewhere, but very few people understand, have wrapped their minds around this one word: process. It's the in-between stage between the time you start and the time you finish. Process is simply the in-between stage, the in-between phase, the moments between the time you start something and the time you finish. I want you to wrap your mind around that, ladies and gentlemen, that everyone loves to start and everyone sees the finish, but very few people prepare for the in-between. Very few people prepare to engage in a battle to get to the end. And the battle is not starting. Most people know how to start very well. Very few people know how to do this one word: endure. Because once you get from the exciting moment, and it's always exciting, ladies and gentlemen, to start. It's always exciting to say, I'm about to do. It's always exciting in that first 2 or 3 weeks where you're motivated to get to a particular goal. And then the excitement leaves and principle has to kick in, because the process is very, very difficult. I'm very passionate about things like this because I talk to so many people, especially people who are they're exiting the 20s, where they thought that life was always going to be it's going to be full of time. And they thought that life was going to be, you're going to always be this same age with the same looks, the same energy. And it amazes me about, I was talking about it yesterday, that when people turn 30, it doesn't matter how much money they have. When people turn 30, it doesn't matter how many accomplishments that they have made. There's something that happens when people turn 30. I love talking about the process because this is my philosophy. You can take it or leave it. 20s, that's just your learning phase, y'all. That's not your building phase. That's not your grinding phase. That's your learning phase. You're learning what not to do and what to do. You're just learning in your 20s right from wrong. You're learning fake from real. You're learning because in your 20s, you think that everything that you see or hear is actually reality. And then you turn 30 years old and you realize that it takes work to accomplish any and everything you want, and nothing happens overnight. Nobody's giving you anything, and it does not matter who you are, where you come from, how smart or dumb you may think you are. You have to earn everything that you want. That's the beauty of 30. 30 is the building. 30 is the building stage. Hear me very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care who has done what. I don't care who has posted what. I don't care. No one is going to hand you anything. Everything has to be earned, and you're going to have to, hear me. The objective is not to figure out a way to start. The objective is not to figure out, get this, what your goals are. Everybody has a goal. You talk to the average person, they have a dream or a goal. You talk to the average smart person, they have a dream or a goal written down somewhere in their computer or their email. Very few people have this, though. Very few people have the plan in between the start and the finish. No, challenge yourself. I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to look at all the things you've written down, and I guarantee that 90% of the people listening to me, you have a bunch of goals. By 2024, I'll do this. By the end of 2023, I'll accomplish this. By the time I turn 50, I want to be here. In 5 years, but very few people took the time, because now it's going to take time to sit down and come up with not the goal, but the process to accomplish the goal. Oh, yeah. See, it's easy to say, I'm going to be in school next year. It's harder to get this, but there's no plan to apply for a bunch of schools. Get this. And when they say, we won't accept you. Oh, yeah. See, now it's not so easy. It's easy to say, I'm going to be in school, but do you have a plan for when every school you apply for, they deny you? And most people don't. Most people don't have a plan. Most people say, I'm trying to get in school, but they don't have a plan to go to class and finish and not quit while you're raising children, while you are having your responsibilities. Most people don't have a in-between process plan to even complete the goal. And that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's the process. What's your process plan? I want to give you 7 things before I let you go. And before I do this, I want you to meditate on that. The process is hard. Getting there is difficult. Starting is easy. Getting there is difficult. Starting is easy. Continuing is difficult. Because y'all, look, I'm on this journey, right? I have these fitness goals. And now I'm old enough to know that the hard part is staying consistent, driven for 30 days. It's easy to stay consistent and driven for 2 weeks. I've been building long enough. I've been accomplishing goals long enough to know, to expect that most people will not stay consistent, stay driven. It's like a race, and the person that starts off the fastest. Now, unless you just have that ability, you go for it. But preserving energy is the wise way. So it's okay to kind of like stay behind and get a consistent pace. And then when the time is right, increase that energy. What's the point, y'all? Most people start out of the gate fast, motivated, empowered, on fire for it. I mean, you're ready to lose all that weight. You're ready to start the business until you start getting denials. Until people, you know, what I want to cuss so many people out. I want to cuss people out. Stop telling people all you have to do. Stop telling people all you got to do is go to the bank. And if that was so true, then people would be more successful than what they are. Why do we keep telling even these fools on social media? They say, oh, you go to the bank, get this loan, ABC and D. No, that's not that easy. The banks are not handing out money to just random people that walk in and say, I heard on TikTok, you could get this loan. It's not that easy. And here's the problem. The problem is when you walk in and you apply and these folk deny you, you stop. Because you were not prepared for denials. You were not prepared for rejection. That means you were not prepared to go through the process. That means you had no business starting in the first place. You're not prepared, get this, y'all. You're not prepared for injury when you start working out. What do you do when you get injured? What do you do when you, after 2 weeks of training hard, you're no longer inspired? You're busy. What do you do when you're tired? What do you do when you are no longer motivated? Here's the word, y'all. What do you do when you're no longer excited? You have to get this, you have a plan to start. You have an objective to complete the goal, but do you have a plan to continue? It's called process. And you need to understand that this Friday, for you ambitious, talented people, that the reason that you have not accomplished yet is because you're in the process. And some of you start and you stop. You start and you stop. You cannot finish anything because subconsciously you have not prepared to go through. You have not prepared. You have not said to yourself, this is going to take 7 months, not 7 days. Do y'all know why social media and physical fitness is so lucrative because the industry has mastered telling you that you can. It blows my mind, y'all. Call these people who are real trainers. They have done shows, they've done competitions, that they say you can get ripped in 30 days. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the average person is not about to go from obesity to being lean in 30 days. And if they happen to do that, they did that in a very unhealthy way. Hear me very carefully. The industry is masterful at saying they're using words that will make you think, oh yeah, that can be me. You may lose weight, but you will not look like the person that's advertising it. Here's why. Because if people promote the process, very few people will patronize it. If we told you the truth about what it takes to start businesses, you would cop out of it. It's hard. It's hard finishing. It's not easy. You're not on an island with zero responsibilities. You have to learn how to maintain 5 or 6 different things. You have to go to work. You have to go to your church responsibilities. You have to make sure your family, your husband, your children are taken care of. And it's difficult doing all of that and trying to squeeze in whatever goal you're trying to obtain. You're going to wake up tired. After 2 weeks, you're going to forget about why the devil you started it. And if you quit, if you quit 2 weeks, 2 months in, that means you didn't have a process plan. What's your plan, man? In the process. I know you have the goals and I know you have the year, but do you have the process plan? All right, let me give it to you, then I'll let you go. Number 1, forget about the goal. After you write the goal down, don't look at it again. You know why? Because that's not important. Now I have to start remembering the growth, thinking about the growth. After I establish the goal, scratch that out and start focusing on the growth. Number 1, that you need to fall in love with not accomplishing goals, but accomplishing growth. Man, accomplishing the growth that if you stay consistent 30 days, you have accomplished some type of result. And that's what we call growth. If you have learned something the first 2 weeks, that's growth. If you see minor, whatever, hear this. I'm not focused on the goal because that's going to frustrate me. I was talking to my sister and she asked me, are you seeing results? I said, no, but I'm not looking for it. I don't even look in the mirror, Brandy. I do not look in the mirror. I don't look in the mirror. And if you know anything about bodybuilding, you really don't even need to pay attention to the scale. Now, some people will say, look at the scale every day. I'm saying to you, sometimes before you, I think looking for goals should be a reward for consistency. Looking for results. Looking for results should be a reward for consistency. Don't look for results because it will disappoint you. Look for growth. For example, for 30 days, did you train for 7 days straight? All right. Let me tell you what happened. So yesterday was real busy. And so I'm tired. I popped my I'll just say my thigh. I'm doing CrossFit and I'm doing lunges. And we had to do, before you left, I have a 35-pound dumbbell. And so we're doing lunges with the dumbbell. And it's like we've been doing it's just like lower bodies every freaking day for 4 or 5 days straight. It's just sick. And so day before yesterday, I felt something, but I kept going. I was like, something ain't right. And so I did the rep. And I heard it. I felt it. I dropped the dumbbell. I said, yeah, it's done. And so this pain, excruciating pain I've been feeling for 24 hours. And so get this, y'all. So yesterday is late. Now I have 2 excuses. I have 3. Get this. It's going to kill you. I have 3 excuses. I have a serious injury. It's late. I'm tired. I'm sore. I go home. I lay down because I'm not going. And I have not done a rest day. So those are my excuses. And those are legitimate excuses. And I laid down, and I think 7 minutes into the lay down, I got my up and I was in the gym. Because I said to myself, well, you planned to be injured. You plan to have some late nights, and you plan to be tired, and you plan to not have a rest day. This is the moment where that plan kicks in. What was the plan? If you're tired, you're still going. If you're injured, you're still going. See, my whole body ain't injured. So the arm doesn't say, well, since my leg is hurt, you don't move me. Since my legs are hurting, you don't train upper body. And when you have a weak mind, one little reason, when you don't have a plan for process, anything will cause you to step away and bow out of your process. Did that make sense? It's the process, enduring the process. It doesn't matter, no excuse enduring the process. Hear me very carefully. Number 2, you need to expect to fail and fall sometimes. You're not going to be as motivated as you were the previous week. Put this in the comments, y'all. Show up. You may not perform as well this week as you performed last week. That's not the goal. The goal is not to avoid falls. The goal is not to maintain consistent emotion. The goal is to maintain consistent discipline. That no matter how I feel, how I performed, what mishaps I made, you're not going to have a 100% week every week. You're not going to show up and kill it every single day. It's not going to happen. And that's not the goal. And when you expect to be at your highest performing peak every single day, hear me very carefully. That is the quickest way for disappointment to set in. And what happens after that? You start quitting. Hear me. The fact that I had an okay workout last night motivates me to do it today. But if I would have quit last night, I would have found another excuse to quit tomorrow. And now the habit is interrupted. Y'all, am I making? The habit is interrupted. The objective is to go 59 days without interruption. And in that 50 something days, you all, you're not going to perform at your highest capacity every time. That's not the goal. The goal is to create a discipline and a habit and show up. And every time you show up, it will fuel the next day and the next day and the next day. And you will create muscle memory, and you will begin to hear. And because you you have committed to it, you will see that will fuel and energize your performance. Number 3, you need to learn patience. It's not going to happen overnight. You need to learn patience. You need to learn how to settle into a particular goal or habit, settle into a particular strategy and work it. Stop looking for immediate results. It's not real. Stop looking for immediate results. Who cares that you are a good person? Be patient. It may take you 5 years to do it. It may take you, I said this to y'all last week and I'm going to say it again because it's a phenomenal story. Eric Thomas is the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Get this, you all. And he had been preparing for it 19 years before he made it. He has been, he prepared for it. So that's a man of great endurance and great patience. And here's what David Shan said. What if Eric Thomas would have quit on the 19th year? He would have never made it to 20. The year where he became a household name. You need to understand patience. Here's one, number 4 or 5. Set a schedule. What's your schedule like, y'all? One of the things, hear me. One of the things, I gotta go. One of the things that you need to understand is that if you don't have a schedule for your life, you have invited meaningless, frivolous things to come and take you off of your schedule. If you don't have a plan, hear me. I'm talking about from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. If you have goals, if you're trying to accomplish something, if you want to master and maintain time, if you want to exhaust as much time as possible, you need to stick to a schedule. Meaning this, sometimes it's a waste of time to go over 5 minutes having a conversation with the most important person in the world to you. That you have to be so disciplined. This is what I'm finding out. As I study successful people, they do not play about time. They have a schedule. It takes a long time to be able to do your thing without a schedule. Until you get to that place of success, what's your schedule like? Hear me. If you're going to accomplish education, if you say, hey, I'm trying to get my doctorate, my PhD. I have so many people that I'm leading that are getting PhDs and doctorate. Well, hear me. It's impossible to do that if you don't have a schedule. Brandon, I lead so many people that's getting their PhD. You have to have a schedule. I'm talking about, I don't know if Dr. Jill is on, but this is what happened. Maybe last year, she failed the entrance to even start the PhD, to get her to start her dissertation. And so she texted me and she was like, I failed. And I said, no problem. Here's what I want you to do. I said, how long are they giving you to retest? Or I think she had to do some paper or something like that. And so she was like 6 weeks, I think. And I said, all right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to do 3 things. First, you're going to get off social media. You're not going to check it. I told you that a couple of days ago. Brand said, y'all, she doing her work. So I'm locked in. I said, no, the hell you not, because you on social media telling me that you locked in. That's not locked in. You're not locked in. Because you are on social media telling locked in. This is what I told Dr. G. I said, number 1, get off social media. For 6 weeks, I don't want to see a post. I don't want to see you like anything, share anything, tag any. Get off social media. Number 2, I want you to work out every day. Number 3, after you work, commit yourself to study. She did it for 6 weeks. I didn't see her on social media. And what happened? What do you think happened? What do you think happened when she got rid of, get this. So what did I tell her? So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get rid of distractions. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the stress by working out. You got to put some stress somewhere. You got to put all that pressure. There has to be what we call an outlet somewhere. And number 3, you're going to do laser focus on your studies. That's the remedy for success. And what do we see here now? What? Next year should be done. All right. Hear me, y'all. What's your schedule? Some of you BS too long. If you want to accomplish, hear me. If you want to accomplish, you have to not, listen to me. You have to plan romance. I can only hang out with my boo for 30 minutes. The 31st minute, if I'm still with you, I'm failing because I put on my schedule 30 minutes. Oh, I just had a call and it went over. And that's why you're not successful, because you are so undisciplined that you allow things to just go over. You plan to sit down and chill and you say, I'm doing this from this hour to that hour. Put a schedule in place. I don't care if you're a man. Hear me. Oh, well, I'm a man. I don't do it like that. Well, keep doing your thing and see how I become more successful than you. And don't be jealous when I pull up in an expensive car. How you got that? You remember I told you to do a schedule and you told me you a man, you don't think like that? That's how. The schedule it has nothing to do with, it's not gender specific. It has something to do with discipline, time management. All right, I'm done. Small wins count. You need to understand that. You need to celebrate those small wins. They encourage you. Don't be so goal-oriented that you overlook the thing. I know people, y'all, that they couldn't pat themselves on the back if God handed them an extra hand. But they're fools, though. Because the small wins, they keep you motivated to keep winning. If you can't acknowledge what you have done well, you will not be encouraged to continue. Last one, y'all. Put this in the comments before we go. Cheerleaders. I know you're self-motivated, but who couldn't use at times someone that's not, their responsibility is not to coach them? You need to understand the difference between a coach. I need to do a series on that. The coach, get this, y'all. I got a new series. The coach, the cheerleader, and the crowd. Wow! The crowd, the cheerleader, and the coach. You need all three. While you're accomplishing your goals, y'all, get the people who you know they are in your corner. You let them know what you're trying to accomplish and say, I just need you to be my cheerleader. Find that person or those persons. I promise you, they become the reason why you keep going. I need to hear someone. I can't quit because someone is believing in me. Man, that'll make you cry. I cannot quit because someone keeps telling me that I can do it. And you'll be surprised what those words, what they do to us psychologically. It gives us stamina to push through it. If you think you're better than a cheerleader, if you think you don't need one, try lifting a heavy weight that you've never lifted before. We call them in the gym what? Spotters. You need a spotter that's going to help you and cheer you on as you pursue your goals. Welcome to Band with y'all.